Moving that kid's liver. If you see one episode of House, this is the one.
Explain to me why you stopped the surgery.
I want him locked up!
House.
Stop the house. Cores, meet me outside with a limo. You being discharged?
$50 says I can beat you to the curb.
Thanks for sticking with the case.
I can't do anything else. Much more easily amused when you walk.
How bizarre. I'm guessing that you weren't exactly Mr. Sunshine even before your leg got messed up. I want you to have this.
I see trees of green, red roses. I see them blue.
Wow.
You can sell it if you want to. Just promise me you won't play.
Into myself.
How many of those pills you taking?
I'm in pain.
Yes.
I think to myself
I'm wrong.
what I want.
So, where do you buy these things? You have pain stores?
Don't worry about it. You've been jogging before you need a second one. See you tomorrow, Eric.
That's some bad hat, Harry.
It's the Las Vegas way to start your day.
Life's always better when you get a good start.
Every day on 8 News Now this morning.
Celebrating Fitness is all about finding activities that you can enjoy, like riding bicycles through Humana's freewheeling program at Humana's guidance centers. It's free and allows any adults with valid ID to participate. Find out more from one of our guidance centers in the Valley.
Celebrating Fitness is about healthy living, and it's always important to consult a physician about diet and exercise. At Healthcare Partners, our team-based approach to healthcare allows us to provide the most complete, comprehensive care to our patients.
The PBR World Cup is coming to Thomas & Mack Center, and Fantastic Indoor Swap Meet wants to send you to see it live. 5 countries battle for bragging rights as the best bull riding nation in the world. Head down to the Fantastic Indoor Swap Meet and sign up to win today.
Now is absolutely the smartest time to buy a Toyota.
You know, it's great. You can't beat the deals right now.
This has got to be one of the best deals around.
This is the opportunity you've been waiting for. But time is running out to take advantage of these historic offers. See your Toyota dealer today for special deals on many of your favorite Toyota models, like the 2010 Corolla, Camry, RAV4, or Tundra.
That's the best deal you could ever get.
Neighborhood weather with Sherry Swins on 8 News Now this morning.
Tonight, millions of Poles mourn their president and other dignitaries after yesterday's tragic plane crash in Russia. I'm Russ Mitchell. Also tonight, nuclear security summits. World leaders begin arriving for the largest international meeting ever held in Washington. Windstorm off Cape Cod as decision day on a controversial wind farm proposal looms. And bingo's back. Tough economic times are fueling a revival, but it is not your grandmother's bingo anymore.
I have an eye just for you, girl.
This is the CBS Evening News with Russ Mitchell.
Good evening. The shock and grief in Poland continued into a second day today as millions mourn the death of their president and other top officials in a plane crash in the Russian city of Smolensk yesterday. The sorrow in Poland is widespread and in many cases deeply personal. Richard Roth has the latest.
The president's body returned to Poland with military honors, met by a solemn ceremony and a daughter's grief. 29-year-old Marta, whose mother was also killed in the crash, rested her forehead on her father's coffin. Then her uncle did the same, the twin brother who'd been Lech Kaczynski's partner in politics. The nation's sorrow lined the streets on the route of a long, slow motorcade into Warsaw. At the site of the crash in western Russia, authorities were still recovering remains of the 96 people who died. In addition to Poland's president, they included more than a dozen members of parliament, senior military commanders, the nation's central banker. The Russians say there's no sign there were mechanical problems with the plane, but in yesterday's heavy fog, they say, the pilot had been warned several times not to attempt a landing. The delegation had an appointment at a nearby memorial to honor Poles massacred by Soviet troops at the start of World War II. Some now speculate the president may have been too determined to keep it. Lech Kaczynski was respected in Poland, but in office hardly beloved. A former anti-communist campaigner and a strong U.S. ally, he would have faced an uphill battle for re-election. In its pain now, politicians say Poland is united. Sirens stopped the country for a moment of silence, but the grief tonight kept growing. National leaders are reassuring Poles and the rest of the world that Poland's economy and government are still functioning and strong, despite the nation's loss. The presidential plane's flight recorders, the two black boxes, have been recovered from the wreck. If Russian air controllers did order the pilot to divert to another airport to avoid bad weather, the recorders may reveal why he defied them. Russ?
Richard Roth in London. Thank you very much. Back in this country, the nation's capital is gearing up tonight for a very busy couple of days. President Obama opens his summit on nuclear security tomorrow with dozens of world leaders set to attend. Mr. Obama said today he is pleased by their sense of urgency, warning that al-Qaeda would not hesitate to use a nuclear weapon if it could. Cheryl Atkinson has more.
In Washington, stepped-up security at hotels, embassies, and meeting sites of the Nuclear Security Summit. With 47 governments attending, it's thought to be the biggest gathering of world leaders ever in the nation's capital.
The single biggest threat to U.S. security, both short-term, medium-term, and long-term, would be the possibility of a terrorist organization obtaining a nuclear weapon.
Today, President Obama met one-on-one with several leaders, including India and Pakistan. Both have nuclear weapons. Top administration officials appeared on news talk shows to promote the summit's focus on securing nuclear materials, shown here in the Czech Republic, so-called loose nukes. By one estimate, there's enough weapons usable nuclear material to build more than 120,000 nuclear bombs. The big fear is that terrorists could get their hands on some of it. The threat is examined in a new documentary about nuclear weapons.
Terrorist groups like al-Qaeda, but not limited to al-Qaeda, are seeking this nuclear material and would like to make a weapon. They've said so, and I believe it.
Not invited to the summit, countries perceived as dangerous or uncooperative, such as Iran, which is trying to build a nuclear weapon, and North Korea, which has nuclear warheads.
To those who say not enough has been done about Iran and North Korea, what's your answer?
This administration can't address the Iran and North Korea threats alone. They have to build an international consensus.
She says that's just what the two-day summit will do. Analysts say President Obama is not on track to fulfill his campaign pledge of securing all loose nuclear material by the end of his first term, but the summit is a key milestone along the way. Russ?
Cheryl Atkinson at the White House. Thank you. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton tried to mend recent strains with Afghan President Hamid Karzai during a joint appearance today with Defense Secretary Robert Gates on Face the Nation with Bob Schieffer.
Even our own ambassador there, Mr. Eikenberry, said that he did not consider him a reliable partner, and was one of the reasons that originally he opposed this surge of troops we put in there.
Well, I think what you're hearing from Secretary Gates and me today is we consider him a reliable partner.
Also tonight, CBS News has learned that Labor Secretary Hilda Solis will go to West Virginia tomorrow to attend a memorial service for the 29 men who died in the worst mining accident in 40 years. She will brief President Obama on Thursday. Jim Axelrod now with more on A State in Mourning.
Jason,
Adkins.